The numbers plunged down and down and down. Japan's Nikkei index falling by 12.4%, its worst day since the Black Monday crash of 1987. In Frankfurt, glum faces as European stocks hit a near 6-month low. The opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange heralded a similar day of panicked sell-offs, especially tech stocks. Cryptocurrencies also in a nosedive. At the root of this, fear of recession.
I think we have a combination of a growth scare and a Fed policy scare.
In July, the U.S. Federal Reserve opted not to lower interest rates. But after a weak U.S. jobs report, some are pushing it to make an emergency rate cut ahead of its next scheduled meeting in September. Too drastic, say others.
Is the economy slowing? Yes. Is there any need for an emergency Fed cut? Doesn't look like it in our opinion.
Canada's markets, closed Monday, could well be pulled down if the global undertow continues Tuesday, even though the Bank of Canada lowered its key interest rate for a second consecutive time in July.
They were probably more concerned about a recession. I guess in the US, they were more concerned about inflation. And maybe today the news is that probably the Bank of Canada's fears were the right ones.
Analysts are split on whether a recession might be looming, but are cautioning against panic.
This is pretty normal after, a bull market. This little bit of this correction is, again, just the move toward normalization.
Still, U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump quickly seized on the political implications, blaming the bad day without any evidence on his opponent, posting, "Trump cash versus Kamala crash," playing into the long-held bias that Republicans are better for the economy than Democrats.
So, Katie, clearly a lot of pressure on the U.S. Fed, but as I understand it, there's no indication yet of some kind of emergency rate cut coming.
Right. Yeah, the thing you have to keep in mind is an emergency rate cut, that is something that is reserved for a black swan event, something like, say, a global pandemic. And we also have to keep in mind that the Fed has already sort of signaled it was going to make a rate cut in September. Meanwhile, here in Canada, the Bank of Canada has hinted that we can expect more rate cuts in the fall. That's so long as inflation doesn't heat up again.
So just stay the course.
That's it.
All right, Katie Nicholson, thank you.